Hey guys, it's Bruce again, and this is just me being raw and unedited. I'm not editing this one. You get all the ums and the ahs and stuff like that. And there was one just there, and nice. But anyway, just wanted to have a chat about why I stopped going to church. For those of you that don't know my background, I've pastored a church for many years, a Pentecostal church in Australia, been part of many church movements, conferences, meetings, all that sort of stuff. And I guess what's one reason that I've been motivated to do this little video is because a comment was made recently, and I understand the comment. I used to make the same sort of comments and the comment was something along like, I've been hurt by the church, so I stopped going and I need to get over the hurt, as I said, I understand those comments. I probably used to make similar comments about people that stopped going to church. But for me, it's quite different. And I guess as I've started to minister to people that no longer go to church, I see there's a different story, a different side. But let's face it, anyone that's been involved in church for any length of time has been hurt by the church. But people that make the comment that says about me, that say I left the church because I was hurt by the church, obviously do not know me that well, because I've got over so many hurts in life. And I will continue to get over hurts. So me not going to church is not about the fact that the church hurt me. If it was, I would have stopped going to church many years ago. All right? So let me tell you what happened to me, because it's actually the reason I no longer go to church is actually probably almost the entire opposite to being hurt by the church. The reason I stopped going is I really want to see the church how it should be, where Jesus, the church that Jesus was building. So, and it started even before I left the church. It started because what happened was one day I was sitting in a car park by myself. My daughter was doing dance, and I was sitting in the car waiting for my daughter to finish dance so I could take her home. And as I was in the car, I was praying. Now, you've got to understand that I was still going to a church back then. I was still going to an established church. And the reason I use that word established is if you ask me if I've left the church, I'd say no. Because the church is a gathering of the people, which I still do. What I have stopped is going to a venue on Sunday and going out of a religion, out of religiosity, thinking I need to be there. I need to be in this place where all these other Christians gather. So anyway, back to the story. I was in the car and I'm praying, and I begin to pray for the church. Now, I kid you not, as I was praying, my stomach started hurting. It was a physical pain in my stomach. I'm pretty sure if I wasn't already sitting down in the car, I would have been crouching down. And I started crying, really crying. And I remember in my prayer crying out, God, why do I feel this way? Why am I crying? And the words that really come to me was, you're seeing the church as I see the church. And until you've prayed for the church to the point that you feel physically sick inside and you cry, until you've done that, you probably won't understand the journey that I was on. So did I leave church after that time? No, I kept going, but I had this desire within me to see the church as a spiritual family, a community where we shared things, where we loved each other, where we had meals together, not just a place that we would go on a Sunday and sing some songs and hear a sermon. And don't get me wrong, if you're doing that and you're happy with that, keep doing it. But understand that there's many other people around that are looking for something more authentic, something more real. And that's what it was for me. So if you hear anything about me that I've left the church because I was hurt with the church, let me tell you that's not true. Well, the fact that the church hurt me, that is true, but then the church has hurt everyone. But that's not the reason I've left, all right? And the church will hurt people because the church is made up of people, all right? What I've left is not what I've left, but it's what I've stopped. I've stopped going to a place on a Sunday where we gather together. And I started gathering more intimately, more authentically with other believers, other people that want to follow Jesus. And look, I really believe that it's been a faith journey. And for me to keep that journey of faith, I had to get out of that established church. So that's just my thoughts on why I left church. Well, that's my honest reasons of why I stopped going to the established church. Have I left church? No. In matter of fact, I'm probably more connected with God's people now than I was when I was in an established church. Because when I was in an established church, I was connected with those people that were part of the same denomination, part of the same movement, part of the same campus that I was part of. All right? But since I've got out, I'm connected with so many more people. And you know what? Some of these people don't even believe in God, but I've connected with them, and bit by bit I can minister into their lives because of who I am and where I'm at. So if you're like me and you are seeking something more, you're seeking something more authentic, and you've been hanging around established churches thinking you'll find it, look, maybe you won't find it there. Maybe you will, but maybe you won't. And if you don't, be prepared to look outside of the structure and take it to God. See, that's what I did. I looked into the scripture about what the church was. And when I saw what Jesus wanted to build, when Jesus said, "I will build my church," when I saw what Jesus was wanting to build and the relationship he had with his disciples and his followers, and I saw what was built in the early church in the book of Acts, and I saw that, I wanted that more authentic relationship. And to get that, I had to look out of the box. And to be honest with you, when I stepped outside of the structured church, I remember saying to God, I might walk this walk myself, but I've always promised God that I'll go where God is calling. And I remember saying, God, if you're calling me there, I will step out and do it. And if I'm all alone doing this by myself, I at least know I've got you by my side. But you know what I found? I was never by myself. There was hundreds, maybe thousands of other people that had either taken the same journey or were on the same journey. And if you're one of those people and you want to chat about seeing a more organic church, a more spiritual church family, send me a message, give me a call, send me an email, however you contact me. I'd be happy to connect with you and talk with you. God bless.